I hate 2023. 2023 sucks. This is the worst year for professional wrestling. The worst. And you don't want to know why? This has been a bad year for Homo sapiens, as we all know. A loss at the Royal Rumble because everyone ganged up on Omos. He defeated by Lesnar over cheap tactics. Defeated by Seth over cheap tactics. And you know what was the worst thing about it, Hottie?
What?
We didn't even get the dream match. The Omos v Omos v Omos v Omos at WrestleMania with special guest referee
Omos.
We didn't even get that. So I don't
Super
even want to be
disappointing.
talking about 2023.
Fire Triple H right now.
It's June, right? And I guess we have to talk about 2023 in professional wrestling because it's halfway over. And maybe it's a better year for Homo sapiens in 2024. But yeah, we're going to be talking about 2023 in chronological order. And then maybe at the end, if you behave, we're going to do a top 10 list of our favorite matches in 2023.
Why are you always making that weird, man?
Because I love our restless.
Can't do a normal show.
Our restless sluts. They're my favorite.
I got family.
Anyway.
Listen to this, man.
I'm not associated with this guy at all. But yeah, so anyways, should we start off with January? And
what happened on the very first day of January this year? The New Japan gods bless us. Vince McMahon, Triple H had blessed us. He put the man, the king of strong style, Shinsuke Nakamura. He let him travel back to Japan for a bit to have a match with the one, the only, the great Muta. Man, what do you think about this match?
I really enjoyed it. At first thought it was a retirement match, but I think that was like after. But it's one of his last matches, which was really cool. It was cool to. I really was dreaming for a Rick Boogs v Great Muta match because I've been waiting for that all my life.
Of course.
But Shinsuke was a nice second place when it came to that. But really though, I actually did find this as a pretty fun match. And you know,
I can't believe it happened.
I can't believe it happened. I can't believe it was allowed to be happening, right?
I know, it's huge.
And then it's good to know that Great Muta kind of ended off his career with fighting Shinsuke, and then did a few things after that and made it to WWE Hall of Fame all in the span of 3 months.
I know, super quick.
Yeah, I mean,
yes, but like, what a way to start off 2023, right? Like, 2022 was an insane year of wrestling, obviously, with Triple H taking over, with the whole CM Punk debacle. But at least we start off 2023 on a good note with Muta and Shinsuke.
Well, speaking of Triple H leaving, January 6th was a big date. Not because of the Capitol riots, but because of even worse. Vince McMahon returns to WWE as a board member. Oh man!
Wow.
Yeah. Vince is back.
I remember like Twitter went into flames as soon as this was announced. Like, everyone's like, no, I'm gonna stop watching WWE. Like, just stop lying. You ain't never gonna stop watching WWE. They could do the worst things ever, and you'll never stop watching.
They have done the worst things ever, and we're still watching.
Debatably. I mean, they didn't do Collision in Korea, so
that's true. That's true right there. But yeah, Vince came back after a 6-7 month hiatus as a board member though, not as any creative, part yet in 2023. But I guess that was cool seeing Vince back. I mean, the truth is Vince McMahon's never going to retire. There's no such thing as retirement in professional wrestling, especially if your name is Vincent K. Kennedy McMahon.
Definitely.
And I remember a few days after, in the business side of WWE again, Stephanie McMahon resigned as co-CEO, and all those rumors that were supposedly confirmed and true at the time that Saudi Arabia bought WWE. I remember I was meeting Haadi, or I was talking about it with Haadi, and I'm like, yo, dude, things are going down south.
I remember thinking, I was like, imagine all the LGBT stars getting their contract and just
Sami Zayn. Well, actually, Sami Zayn is well respected with them.
I mean, I think the one good thing coming out of like the Saudi merger, if it did happen, is my boy Mansoor dethroning Roman Reigns. But
That's what
unfortunately, it
we
didn't
need.
happen. I
But
mean, it
I
could
mean,
still happen.
seriously though, if Saudi Arabia ever had WWE, yeah, I mean, the talent morale would go down south. But the one good thing about it would be the infinite budget and production they can have because they have the whole budget of the nation of Saudi Arabia, the
I mean,
kingdom.
Saudi kept Ronaldo happy, so I'm sure they can keep WWE. It's not like they're gonna move the shows to Saudi, so it's fine.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
sure like a fat
Monday Night
paycheck
Raw
will
is
shut
on
him up.
Saudi.
Yeah, the
Man,
new
that
Arabic intro. That'd be fire. They should have
the
like
return of Muhammad Hassan.
they should have like
Yes,
Arab Jim Ross.
Arab Jim Ross. Oh, that's great. But January 6th was also a great time for Orange Cassidy,
Huge.
retaining his All Atlantic Championship.
Yeah, dude. Oh my god. So a couple months ago, I put out a video called Top 10 Overrated Wrestlers, and on that list was Orange Cassidy. And that was before he had the
Agreed.
All Atlantic Championship. And he's going on a crazy reign. He still has it, which is now labeled the International Championship. But holy cow, this he is defending it almost weekly. It's almost like what this new Seth Rollins run is being based off of almost.
He
But
puts on banger after banger after banger, man.
he has like
Like,
25 title matches already. And by the way, like my biggest concern with him was that like he was not going to be able to be a face like a champion. But man, I'm totally proven wrong. He's completely a star. The most viewed AEW video is like an Orange Cassidy video of all time on YouTube.
I
So
showed my non-wrestling friends Orange Cassidy, and they loved Orange Cassidy. I mean, who doesn't love Orange Cassidy? Dave Meltzer named him the best gimmick of 2020 or something. So you know he's right, because Dave Meltzer is right about everything. But on a serious note, going to January 2023 also had its set of losses, such as the sudden loss of Jay Briscoe.
rip.
Um, that was, man, I remember when that happened. That that's such a sad moment too. But I believe Mark and Jay Briscoe, the Briscoes, were held the ROH tag team titles at the time.
They did.
Um, and I don't know if Mark vacated it or
No, he held
Briscoe
it
had
up
it.
until that he held the tag team championship. He even defended it one in
Mhm.
one match. Um but eventually they had to do the I believe four-way fatal tag team ladder match for it where Dante Martin broke his ankle and that was a crazy spot. But yeah, Jay Briscoe dying was really out of nowhere. And what was really touching is that every wrestling promotion, no
Yeah.
matter if it was Impact or WWE, gave their respects on NXT, on SmackDown, all that. So really cool, really sad loss. But like the day after he died, they did the Jay Briscoe tribute show in Ring of Honor, and I believe Claudio defended his title too that night, and he had a stunning victory. What that man has been revitalized in ROH because we know he can't do it on a main roster.
um, and I remember there was one hell of a match I think with Jay Lethal and Mark Briscoe, which
Exactly.
was very nice match to see for Jay's honor. And Jay is former ROH World Champion. One of I'd say someone who's very underrated, very good character work, and very amazing with matches against people like FTR or Young Bucks. So
The Hardys. Yeah.
Hardys,
Imagine if Mark got squashed that day. Like if they did a Mark like they made it like 6 seconds. Jay Lethal hits that I forgot that finisher. It's so cool when he bounces off the ropes. And just pins him and then like, yep, rip bozo. Like
rip, rip. Um, um, so another thing that happened in January is let's talk about Wrestle Kingdom 17 with
17.
Okada defeating Jay White for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. And I think this was this Jay? This is one of Jay White's last matches, if not his last match in IWGP New Japan.
I
Or
don't
no,
know. I
I
don't
don't
care. Just
remember.
this man Okada. What the heck,
Okada's
man?
great.
Was he supposed to like? People complain about Roman Reigns. Okada has been on top of New Japan for like 8 years now. Like, what's going on?
Okada's burying. Okada's like the new Triple H, dude.
I'm like, honestly, it's. I'm not the biggest follower of New Japan Pro Wrestling,
Yeah.
but like, man, this dude Okada. I mean, finally he got defeated this year, but we'll get to that later. Um, but holy moly, what a run for Okada!
I can't wait for in a bit Okada and Danielson. That's gonna be
Forbidden Door coming up.
Forbidden Door. That's gonna be very
The
fun
real
to watch.
Forbidden Door was Shinsuke and Muda, but whatever.
Remember when everyone thought there was gonna be a Forbidden Door at Royal Rumble? Royal Rumble? Who said that? WWE had a cool pay-per-view in January. I don't know if you've heard about it. It's called
I was,
Royal Rumble.
I don't know.
Yeah, you weren't there, so you wouldn't know.
Yeah, I wasn't sitting there, live in the front row, just waiting for my moment, for them to hit my music at number 30, not Cody Rhodes, and hop over the barricade and win the Rumble. Didn't happen, but that's okay.
Yeah,
I
man.
literally gave the producer my mixtape, my song, which was
I'll be popping
Party.
bottle.
I was gonna say Party Up in Here by DMX, but yeah, but that too.
Party up in here, buddy.
Could you imagine that if that hit? That song would go hard.
Could
But
you imagine
yeah,
Insane Clown Posse debuting in WWE? If New
no.
Jack didn't die, then maybe we could have had New Jack return to Royal Rumble or debut in Royal Rumble. That would be cold.
Man, but that whole pay-per-view, that whole PLE was pretty good. It was really solid other than like 2 matches on the card. I believe they started off the night with the Men's Royal Rumble, which I
That
thought was fantastic.
that
Like
showed
an
you that you
hour
didn't
and a
really,
half long.
yeah, you didn't really need many returns to make a good Royal Rumble, and this proved it. You had to return to Booker T, which is pretty cool. A bit stiff in the ring, but whatever. Logan Paul returned to that amazing spot with Ricochet, one of the best Royal Rumble spots of all time, in my opinion.
Yeah, that great moment with Brock and Gunther facing off and like, holy crap, like is this happening right now?
Remember when that was
Um,
rumored to be the WrestleMania match? Which, I mean, whatever. I mean, we got Omos fighting
way
Brock
better.
Lesnar. Way
Why not
better.
get
That's what
Omos
we
versus
need.
Gunther?
When are we getting
That's
Omos v Roman?
that's the man to dethrone. He's gonna be the new. He's gonna be the version of Kenny Omega in AEW when he had all the titles. That's gonna be Omos in 2023. The rest of 2020. That's my prediction.
Do you remember that meme of Triple H where he was like holding every belt, even the
Yeah.
Divas belt? And
Yeah.
that was great.
24/7 championship, NXT Women's Tag Team Championship.
When man, that's my boy Triple H. But yeah, Royal Rumble was great. I feel like it was dumb they had Cody at 30, but whatever.
You
Our
gotta you
friend,
gotta make sure that man don't get injured.
yeah, not again, bro. Aaron, our boy Aaron, I got to watch with him, which was a really fun moment. And you got to be there in person, and I'm really sad they kicked out Tribal Queef guy. I'm gonna make your editing job harder. Put up Tribal Queef right here. Put him up right here. And Gunther had one of the best Royal Rumble performances of all time. That was so impressive. Really had a fun time with that match. And then after that was a stinker, LA Knight versus Bray Wyatt. Oh my god.
You
What,
know,
what was that?
I'm so glad they followed with that though, rather than like a good match, because the crowd was pretty deflated after like the men's Royal Rumble. It was like an hour and a half. We're all tired. We didn't want to do all that cheering again. So
Yeah.
LA Knight versus Bray Wyatt was so whack, man. Bray Wyatt's like probably like the when you talk about the worst signings Triple H done, we can name people like Emma, or, or even like
I think
you know
Emma's done more stuff than Bray Wyatt.
I don't
Better
know what
stuff
she's
at
done, man.
least.
Yeah, yeah, but Bray Wyatt, at least Bray Wyatt took up TV time where he shouldn't have. So pretty cheeks.
The women's rumble was another good moment. And I mean, it was all right, honestly, but I like the final four. Seeing Rhea win was so well deserved. That was great, mommy. And then, of course, our main event of the night, Owens and Roman Reigns, with probably the best betrayals since Batista and Triple H, or the Shield. Roman Reigns got his ass beat by Sami Zayn. Well, no, Sami Zayn got his ass beat, honestly.
I I think Roman Reigns should know better now than to give a guy a steel chair and turn his back. How many times is Duke gonna get hit in the back with a steel chair?
How many times is he going to get betrayed? Maybe Roman is the good guy. I mean, Seth, Jimmy, which we'll talk about soon, and Sammy all betrayed him. But yeah, that was really fun. To see one of the bigger pops. I bet you when you were there, the whole crowd was freaking out when Sami
Yeah.
Zayn just hit that chair with Roman. That just wow.
I snuck my way to the barricade when it was happening, and that's like I have like videos on my Instagram. I'm like really really close, and literally security guards are like tugging on my shirt trying to pull me back, and I'm like, no, I have to see this. Like I literally take no. I can't take no for an answer. I'm just on the barricade. I'm like holding on. Security guards are pulling me. Like no, I have to. And then finally, Sammy hits that chair shot, and then like I just float away. The security guards drag me away. But then I snuck back up and I got a picture with Charles Robinson, so we're good.
With Charles Robinson, our boy. But yeah, Royal Rumble was the first, I think, major PLE that we saw. But before that we had Raw 30, Raw XXX, which is a pornography actually, if you look it up. Um
Beautiful.
Nothing Raw XXX, that's funny. But yeah, it was cool to see Imperium versus DX. That was actually,
And
great.
Kurt Angle.
Anchor. Why was Kurt Angle out there? They had to find TV spot for Kurt Angle, but they couldn't find anything, so they just
No
placed
Billy
him.
Gunn equals Kurt Angle. Always.
I mean, they're kind of like the same people, right? Um,
I'm an ass man. Yeah, of course.
so in February we had something amazing happen, and that was Sasha Banks coming back to WWE. No, New Japan. How was that?
Mercedes Monet debut. Yeah, that she botched her finisher on in her debut on Kyrie Zane.
Man, I think she got injured too, didn't she? Like recently, and they had to.
Recently, yeah, in the debut championship of the New Japan Women's Strong Championship against Willow Nightingale. Which, by the way, Willow Nightingale, we'll get to her later. Like, what a success story from just like indie star, AEW Dark tapings to New Japan champion. Really cool. Um, but yeah, Sasha, Mercedes Monet. I don't know what to think about this New Japan run so far, other than the injury.
Yeah.
Like, she beat Kyrie in her first match, won the championship, then lost it like a couple months later, and then did the whole strong championship match, got injured. She hasn't done much, unfortunately. The Mercedes Monet character, she has to realize she's in New Japan. There's no such thing as character work, man. Like, does not matter. So
Yeah.
if you watch New Japan wrestling for one reason, it's for great wrestling, right? So Mercedes Monet, I didn't think it was personally the best fit for her. If she was to go anywhere, I thought AEW would have been, because like the women's division needs help. Um, but I guess not. So y- I guess New Japan is the home for her. I hope she does good with that. If she shows up at Forbidden Door as like a, possibly if she's healed, maybe a Tony Storm match, maybe
Um.
a Page match or Soraya.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. I'm not a big fan of her. New Japan. I mean, I don't watch much New Japan, so I don't have too much of an opinion. But from what I see, it's not something, I guess, too impressive. And I wouldn't say that's her fault mostly. I wouldn't say that, but I just feel like her New Japan. She doesn't mix in with the New Japan style. My opinion. She's. I feel like definitely you're right. AEW maybe is the home for her, or
Maybe
Impact.
even back at WWE.
Maybe back in WWE. I doubt it, but if she wants to. Um, February was a sad day because everybody loves, or yeah, February was a sad month, not a day, because everyone loves the Acclaimed, but not the Guns. The Guns took the championships away from the Acclaimed. Remember that? I feel like that.
Scissor me.
I, okay,
Other
so
way. Other way.
oh, it's
There you
because
go.
you're like you're on my left side of my screen, so
Oh.
like so like when you were pointing to me, It looked like you were pointing to nothing. But anyways, yeah, the Guns won their first tag team titles, being the Acclaimed, and everybody loves the Acclaimed. So that was great. What else happened? I'm trying to look at all these like new title reigns that's happened.
Well,
Sorry,
the
what do you
day we
mean?
did that episode, the day that happened, the Guns
Oh
beating the
yeah.
Acclaim, we did an episode talking about current champions. We were talking about how great the Acclaim championship run was, and how long we hope it continues for a long time. Go back and watch the episode. It's called Current Champions. You should go check it out. But dang, the Guns took the titles that day in
God damn
Texas, I
it,
believe
man.
too. Yeah,
Yeah, they really were hearing us. Speaking of tag team titles, our favorite tag team titles, the women's tag team championships, were won by Becky Lynch and Lita in February. Why was that a team? Where did Lita come from? Why did Lita come out of nowhere? I don't know. But Lita had a thing, you know? Uh and then of course in Impact you had Josh Alexander retaining the Impact World Champion. He is the longest Impact World Champion in the history books. So put that in there. And but I think he lost it recently due to injury, which is
yeah. He had to give it up, because he tore both of his triceps and he was forced to retire. And then, but that opened the door for Steve Macklin and
yeah.
Kushida to have a match, and Steve Macklin taking that thing because we know they ain't putting the title on Kushida. That Back to the Future gimmick is not it, man.
WWE though in February, we almost forgot about Elimination Chamber, which
How could I?
honestly, bro, I was freaked out at this pay per view. I'm not gonna lie, but uh, the women's elimination chamber was fun. All right, it was all right. It was pretty good.
Solid,
Lashley Lesnar, I don't know what that was. Um,
solid.
I don't know. It was more like liquid or like semi solid.
All right,
Um, and then of
Jello,
course the men's elimination chamber was fucking awesome. Hell yeah.
solid.
I loved seeing Montez Ford just dancing around, Logan Paul coming out of nowhere. Great, great, great stuff. And then Beth Phoenix Edge via Judgment Day. That was actually I thought that was
Jello.
better than Lesnar and Lashley. Um,
I don't know. I just like watching all that meat. So that tag them. I don't mixed tag matches are rarely good for me, man.
I mean, it's still
I thought it was
shocking that
okay.
Ronda Rousey Triple H mixed tag match was pretty good. Like
What
that was
happened,
really.
Ronda, bro? What happened?
How was that your first good match? How was that the match of the night? But the match of the night for Elimination Chamber was Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns, in my opinion. Crowd was wild for their homeboy, Montreal boy. It was great. It was so sad when Sami Zayn lost. There were kind of hopes and kind of like I don't know. It was kind of a real thing to think that Sammy could have taken the championship away from Roman. Like parts of me thought it could have happened. The Montreal crowd truly believed it. I don't know if Haadi believed it, but I believed it.
Unfortunately,
Um,
no.
I still chose Roman though because I wanted to be a little more realistic. But genuinely though, the Elimination Chamber, in my opinion, is probably one of WWE's best PLEs within the past year. Um, I feel like for the every single match was a banger. Even the Lesnar Lashley match, which was it was mid, but it didn't last too long. It was just 6 minutes, so it's like whatever. Um, but yeah,
Yeah,
what are your thoughts on Elimination Chamber?
I thought it was super solid. I think WWE has got a formula now for their PLEs, and they're hitting on all marks. Every PLA has been amazing this year, and I suspect it'll be the same next month for Money in the Bank because they're going international for freaking every PLE. We haven't had a PLE in the US in a while, and that makes
We
sense.
actually haven't,
Like,
yeah.
hear the crowds, man. Like, all right, Royal Rumble San Antonio. Oh, wow, America. And then and then we have Elimination Chamber in Canada. Then we have Backlash from Puerto Rico, and then Night of Champions in Saudi, and then now we got Money in the Bank in uh freaking the UK. So more international PLEs. Very cool.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So then we move over to March. What has happened in March? Well,
Major things.
major things happened in March. We had AW Revolution. I kind of forgot that was in March. I kind of thought that was in April.
Holy, yeah.
But
Revolution had some awesome matches, man.
oh, freak yeah, man.
Chris
Um,
Jericho versus Ricky Starks, John Moxley versus Hangman Page. We have, I believe, Saraya versus Jamie Hayter versus Ruby Soho. Which that match was not that good, but no worries. We have MJF versus Bryan Danielson in a 60-minute Iron Man match. Holy crap!
yeah, that's something. Oh my god, MJF and Danielson, which some people say is probably the best Iron Man match ever. Which I mean, I would say on a technical level, you can say that. Um, I still prefer Hart and Austin simply because of the impact that had and nostalgia's sake. But definitely MJF and Danielson. Oh my god, what a match that was! I'm really loving MJF's whole title reign. Um, in my opinion, he's probably up there, maybe top 3, maybe even top 2 best AEW World Champions. Because
That's tough, man. All AW champs have been pretty good.
I wasn't really digging Adam Page's reign, and
I like Hangman, but yeah, that's probably the very bottom of them. Um,
yeah, I feel like even Punk. I don't know.
no, Punk was the right choice. And actually, the more I think about it, sometimes I think like Punk could have been right about Hangman in some aspects.
I
Um,
don't know, man.
especially that video of Hangman where he's you know, people ask him like, "Oh, do you take advice from like Sting or CM Punk or any of the vets in the locker room?" And he's like, "No, I don't really listen to those guys." He's like, "If I'll listen to them, but I'll hear them, but I won't listen to them." I was like, "All right, that kind of like a snobby thing." He thinks like he's already kind of better than these legends. Like Sting is one of the most iconic wrestlers ever. You're not gonna listen to the advice he gives you,
No, I mean,
dork.
why listen to the advice that Sting gives you if you can listen to the advice that Tony Khan gives you? That's someone
Bozo.
you should listen to. But yeah, I think that um MJF Danielson, amazing Iron Man match. MJF one of the best world champions. I was kind of underwhelmed with the climax of the Christian Cage Jack Perry stuff. Like it was a decent match. I
Man,
don't know. I
dude,
feel
this
like
dude Christian Cage. How much can you do with freaking Jack Barry? This dude is like a black hole of charisma. Christian Cage carried this feud.
a
Immediately after
black
this,
hole of charisma. You're right.
Jack Barry literally just take away the mic from him and like have him do something else. Like give him a manager, do anything, but never put him in the world title spot ever again because he was the only pillar of that 4 pillars match that didn't matter.
Oh,
He's not a pillar of
oh,
AEW. I don't know
that
why
is a
people say that.
that
Just
is
because
a
he's been there from the beginning, nah. Britt Baker's more of a pillar than Jungle Boy is. That's for sure. Fucking Kip Sabian's more of a pillar than Jungle Boy is.
I,
So
I definitely
boo,
think that
Jungle Boy.
I like Jungle Boy. His in-ring ability is good. He's
What does
definitely
he
a
do?
black hole of charisma. I feel like he was really good in the tag team scene. I did like Jurassic Express, Luchasaurus, Marco Stunt. Um, I do admit, yeah, he's not really good on the mic. He kind of sounds cheesy. He kind of sounds like Jeff Hardy on the mic, except Jeff Hardy, even I feel like Jeff Hardy still has charisma though, even if he's poor on the mic. Like,
I just think this dude Jungle Boy got like no personality. You know, like
yeah,
I don't know anything about him, and the way he talks, I don't want to know anything about him. You know, so I wish there's something better for him, you know, because he is talented, extremely talented in the ring. But this is professional wrestling. Everyone's talented in the ring. So do something different.
in March, we also had NXT Roadblock. So I will say I don't know too much about Roadblock. I do remember that Tony D'Angelo Dijak match, the Jailhouse Street Fight. How was that? I
It was
I
so freaking good. My boy D'Angelo, they're doing him so wrong. He's sitting in jail right now.
I will say Dijak is one of my favorite things about NXT right now. I'm so glad he's getting treated way better than he was when he was T-Bar from
They need to do Jungle Boy like they do Dijak. Just shut up and wrestle, man.
Honest Dijak, man. And speaking of which, we're going to talk about some Dijak matches later. But Dijak is like in some of my favorite matches this year. Honestly, I think he's in like one or two of them. One of them, which I might spoil because it's not on my top 10 list, is Dijak v Wesley. I forgot what pay-per-view. Maybe Stand and Deliver. I don't remember.
Vengeance Day.
Vengeance Day. That was one fucking good ass match, bro.
He just had that banger with Ilya a couple days ago.
Yeah, that might be on my list, on my top 10 list. Who knows?
No,
that was a
no.
really good match though. That was a
Not
really
Brandon Wesley. Wesley's on my list. I'm gonna spoil it now. That match was way better.
I don't know, man.
That boy Ilya was crying.
Man, I don't know. But anyways, let's go on to April with our boys WrestleMania 39. I actually thought WrestleMania 39, in my opinion, probably the best PLE WWE has had this year so far. And I don't, because I guess like the matches are consistent, and it's not as it's like compared to Clash at the Castle or Elimination Chamber. Maybe like when it comes to matches, those matches from Clash at the Castle, Elimination Chamber are better. But what separates WrestleMania 39 from those PLEs is the fact that WrestleMania 39 is WrestleMania, so the show production's up there, it's higher, it's more prestigious, which just the fact that it's a bigger show kind of makes it a better show, even if the
Elevates it.
matches aren't as good.
Definitely.
But so 39, first off, night one, probably one of the best WrestleManias ever. Owens, Zayn, Usos, main eventing, the right choice, the right result, a great match. Everyone deserved to main event there. First time main eventers besides Kevin Owens. And then you had Logan Paul and Seth Rollins, which was another banger of a match. Night one, did night one have Ripley and
Rhea and
Flair?
Charlotte. Yeah.
Yeah,
Rhea and
that
Charlotte.
was.
They had that amazing fatal 4-way tag match with the men.
Oh my god, that was
They
great.
had some great matches. I believe the opener was Theory and Cena.
Theory beating Cena in front of those Make-A-Wish kids. A-Town down.
That man be popping bottles. What else can I say?
Like, you can't be messing with Austin Theory, you know? Those Make-A-Wish kids got owned right there. We love Make-A-Wish. We support Make-A-Wish.
I support Austin Theory.
I support the Mysterio match. The Mysterios had a hell of a banger.
Dude, that match, that storyline was one of my favorites of 2023/2022.
Honestly. Some people
and
say
the culmination was perfect.
Yeah.
Personally, for me, like I just love them. I love Rey Mysterio so much. So like that storyline was very fulfilling. I think the ending was perfect. So yeah, no complaints.
I loved it when Dominic Mysterio came out with Auschwitz stock photos. Oh, that was great. That's what we need. Night 2, of course, had an almost opening WrestleMania as he should. He should be main eventing, honestly, but opening's the second best thing.
Exactly.
Omos lost to Brock Lesnar though over some. Speaking of which, where's MVP been? I feel like I haven't seen MVP in a while. Is he like alive? We talked about how the men's tag team showcase was amazing. The women's tag team showcase was the opposite of that.
Where is MVP? Damn.
Yeah, where is MVP? You're still thinking about where MVP is?
Yeah, I'm trying like chronologically. I was like, what happened? I don't know.
Kind of forgot the MVP exists, huh? But Gunther, Sheamus, McIntyre, wow. Stellar match again.
Where's Drew McIntyre?
Yeah, where's Drew McIntyre at? Maybe he's gonna come back with MVP. Man,
I hope so.
But
the new Hurt Business.
I watched WrestleMania with non-wrestling friends, and they loved the Gunther Sheamus McIntyre match. They loved it. But they didn't love it as much as they loved their Miz and Snoop Dogg match, because that was the match that got everyone talking. Miz and Snoop Dogg, one of the all-time classics, probably gonna be put down in the record books. And then of course you have the main event, Roman and Cody. Stellar match, pretty
Stellar.
you could say it's a disappointing result, but I think the result's gonna be fine.
The right choice.
The right
But I will
choice.
say, I hope Shane McMahon is on the PWA top 500 this year for that performance. You better be.
Yeah,
That's all I'm saying.
Shane McMahon returned, and so did Pat McAfee. Shane McMahon though tore his quads, like
PWA
father,
top
like
500.
son, man. But yeah, WrestleMania 39 was great, and then the night after WrestleMania was somehow even better. Uh, what did you think about the night after WrestleMania?
I I got really hyped when I saw the prospect of Brock Lesnar in a tag team match. If that thing actually happened, that might have saved the night, you know? That might have really,
Yeah.
like, made everything okay.
Instead, we just got Brock Lesnar, Ragdoll, and Cody Rhodes, which I mean led to good matches, but
Yeah, at
the
least
show
there's that.
sucked. So what happened here was that Vince McMahon took control of creative, made a whole bunch of last minute plans on the night after Mania, and kind of ruined the show. um, it kind of just sucked. Matt Riddle came back, which was cool, I guess. And I guess Bad Bunny, I don't know, fought Damian Priest for a bit, which was okay. But yeah, night after WrestleMania showed the WWE universes and professional wrestling fans all over the world freaking out over the fact that the quality of wrestling probably going to lessen when Vince is in control. And here's my deal. I think Vince creatively was amazing. And we can't, because you look at, WrestleMania 1, and then you look at the Attitude Era, you look at the Ruthless Aggression Era. He put on some of the best, most stellar storylines there ever were. And he was a great booker. He put Shawn Michaels with Kurt Angle, Shawn Michaels with Cena. He put up amazing matches with Benoit and Triple H and all of them.
He
So
started this bloodline stuff.
he started the Bloodline stuff, but I will say, I feel like recently, his booking has just been kind of lower in quality. I feel like he hasn't really, um, grown up with the professional wrestling industry. I think he's. I mean, this could be a whole different rant and episode some other time, but all I'm gonna say is that I don't think Vince McMahon has really moved on with the times and is still kind of living in mid '90s with a bunch of ridiculous gimmicks and yeah. But anyways, besides that, we had AEW Battle of the Belt 6. I don't really remember Battle of the Belt 6 too much, but I do remember Cassidy versus Jalistico, which was another
Woo.
amazing defense from Orange Cassidy, freshly squeezed.
AEW really been our AEW and ROH have been going out to present these lucha guys like crazy. Jalisco, Bandito, Commander, Lucha Bros. Like ton of lucha talent. Obviously, Hijo del Vikingo is made his AEW debut with apparently one of the best matches of 2023, not in my opinion, but really cool flips. Um, Dude, and guys like Metalik and ROH, they're doing amazing things. So finally, a great place for lucha wrestling in America. It's AEW and it's ROH. So that's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely agree right there. Just a quick title change in April is Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan beating Becky Lynch and Lita with a Trish Stratus heel turn in the midst of this. So that was cool, I guess. And I like we said, Lesnar betrayed Cody. Um and then oh yeah, we almost forgot Carmelo becoming the new NXT champion, defeating Braun Breaker in one hell of a match, man.
Carmelo Hayes, yeah. Yeah. I thought you said Carmelo. I was so confused. I was like, when did Carmelo win a
Carmelo
championship?
beating Braun Breaker.
Yeah.
Yes. Um,
Yeah, it's stand
Indy
and deliver. Yeah. Some
and
great matches going on there.
Indy Hartwell winning that ladder match to become an NXT Women's Champion.
This
Definitely
is so
deserved
dumb,
it.
bro. This is so
Really?
dumb. No, not the decision. The
Oh,
decision that after the draft, she drops the titles, right?
Oh
She
yeah,
dropped the NXT
yeah.
title, and but the women's tag, they don't. They keep it. Like, what's going on? Well, also Indy was injured. I guess that's why. But like,
So,
why did they put the title? Like,
something's going
it,
on behind the scenes. They must hate, like, I don't know, Pacific Islanders. I don't know.
I don't like that. Really made me think. Like, okay, so the thought of bringing her up to the main roster must have been super sudden if they put the title on her at Stand and Deliver. Because I don't think they should have put the title on her in the first place. At Standard Delivered, should have been someone like Roxanne Perez, for example, or even like I don't think Cora Jade was back at the time. Tiffany Stratton, who's currently champion, I thought she was my pick for Stand and Deliver. So it is what it is. But man, that the draft was so BS.
Yeah, and I guess we'll be talking about the draft here in a bit for a brief moment because we've already talked about the draft in episode. I forgot
I'll
what
put up the thumbnail here.
this episode. But before we talk about that, and we haven't even talked about the AEW TNT Championship because I don't really recall the
Good.
TNT Championship too much. It seems a bit boring right
Let,
now.
let's not talk about this crap, bro. Because literally, what do they do? Start off the year, Darby Allin, champion, right? Then Samoa Joe, then back to Darby Allin, then to Wardlow, then to Powerhouse Hobbs, then to Wardlow again. What what is this championship, man?
It's becoming like the IC title in like the 90s and 2000s.
Remember Scorpio Sky won the title and he got a custom championship and then dropped it a week later, and now we've never heard from Scorpio Sky ever again.
Yeah, where's Scorpio Sky, man? Um,
Dead.
Dead, just like MVP. He's gonna come back with MVP's coming back with Scorpio Sky and Drew McIntyre.
New
Oh my
Hurt
god.
Business, Drew McIntyre, Scorpio Sky, Chris Benoit. Let's see what happens.
Yes. And then of course FTR won their tag team championships in a title v career match against the Guns, which I thought was a pretty good match, pretty fair match. I don't recall it too much, but whatever. That's cool. Anyways, May hits around, and oh woohoo, the draft hits, and I don't know, dude. I really don't know how I feel about the draft because I
I was
don't
so
for
excited.
WWE. It was it was all right. I feel like nothing has changed too much. It feels like the draft didn't even happen. The brands feel the same. Nothing feels distinguished. It's cool we have a world title now, which that was also released in May, and it was cool to see the big gold belt back again. Um, but I don't know, man. I find it weird that the SmackDown Tag Team Championships are on Raw with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, and the SmackDown Women's Champion Rhea Ripley is on Raw. Remember in 2020 when you know that's
Charlotte and Becky.
yes, Charlotte and Becky, I think they were
Yeah.
Raw and SmackDown Women's Champion, but they switched the titles when they were switching brands. Why
I don't
didn't
know
they
what's the
do that?
plan. I don't hopefully the plan is a rebranding of these championships where
Hope
it's not just like Raw champion, SmackDown champion. But yeah, this draft, I was so excited for it, and it turned out to be so freaking lame, especially with the concept of free agents. Because
yeah.
what did we see last night on NXT? Today is June 7th, by the way. So on the June 6th episode of NXT, we see Dana Brooke show up for the women's battle royal, and they say
Yes.
free agent Dana Brooke. But then it gives her the Raw logo, and it says Raw's Dana Brooke. I'm like, dude, what do you mean? Like, what's going on? This is so dumb.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't and all the NXT call-ups aren't really being used as much as I know. Like JD McDonough is maybe getting a few, you know, a mini feud with Dolph Ziggler at the moment. But what they should have done with the world heavyweight title thing is the tournament is add in some of the new guys and make them shine out. But they didn't really do that. It was like not even a single match, but there's only one NXT call up that really is getting their time to shine. That's Grayson Waller, and well deserved. I think Grayson Waller is definitely amazing in the ring, striking with charisma. Like he can be like the Australian Rock if he wanted to be, or like
I was thinking more of the
Australian
Miz.
The Miz,
Yeah.
yeah. But really,
Cameron
he's
Grimes, that
Cameron
man beat
Grimes.
Baron Corbin in a couple seconds.
Yeah, and now Baron Corbin's trying to fight for the NXT championship. He can't even beat Cameron Grimes.
That's how good Cameron Grimes is. You lose to Cameron Grimes, you get demoted. That's how good he is.
Remember when Baron Corbin had JBL? Oh, poor Baron. JBL dropped him.
You can't polish a turd. The words of JBL.
I
The
really
great
thought
JBL.
that I really thought that Baron and JBL were gonna be a partnership that could have led to something really good. Because that would have been cool, but it only lasted like a couple months and didn't really result in anything spectacular, which is very sad.
Yeah,
And then you had
best.
Backlash from WWE.
Excellent, babe. PLE, one of the best.
I think it was pretty good. Yeah, Bad Bunny, Damian Priest, match of the night, I would say. Um,
For me, my match of the night was Bianca Belair, Io Sky. I really love the
really,
match.
yeah,
The
that was a
opener
good
was
one too.
incredible.
That,
Yeah.
that was a great match too. But we got to see the return of Carlito and Savio Vega. Yes, I mean,
Wow.
outside of Puerto Rico, you probably don't even know who Savio Vega is, but because I don't know if Savio Vega came back in Cleveland, Ohio, no one would know who he is. Remember when Grandmaster Sexay came back? I, I love that fucking edit though of like Grandmaster Sexay coming back, and then like the cheers were like edited in, so it was like a huge pop. Like yes,
People crying and stuff.
people were like chanting, "Holy shit! Holy shit!" It's great. But the main event, of course, was Brock Lesnar versus Cody Rhodes. That was a pretty good match for the 9 minutes it was. People didn't like the ending. I thought the ending was fine. It showed
That
that
was perfect.
Cody took the advantage. Yeah. Um, and Brock was busted open, and that was awesome. Finally, some good shit.
We've been seeing a lot of blood lately on wrestling in WWE TV. You know, Bobby Lashley bleeding on SmackDown. AJ Styles for some reason bleeding always. Every time he touches, I mean, God forbid if John Moxley came back to WWE.
Yeah, he's
Dude, that dude bleeds. If you brush his shoulder, he will bleed.
John
He will bleed
Moxley
everywhere.
is so much different than Dean Ambrose. Like, so much different than Dean
I
Ambrose,
love him.
which isn't a bad thing. Definitely not. I love John Moxley.
I will
Um,
say though about the backlash match, Bianca versus Io Sky. I don't think people understand how much of a profound effect it has had. People before this liked Io Sky, right? But now they love her. People are calling for her to win Money in the Bank. People are calling for her to beat Asuka already. Asuka just won that title. People are already like having dream feuds for Io. So like I think that's really the power of having a championship match. Like you can really be elevated. Like Io has. Sometimes it doesn't work out for people because it's not meant to be, and sometimes it does. So Io Sky is truly deserving of that star power.
definitely. Um, did you say elevate? Because remember AEW Elevation? Remember AEW Dark? Gone,
Boom.
canceled, goodbye. Speaking of goodbye, well, it's not really a goodbye. It's a hello, Endeavor, because WWE in April was sold to Endeavor. We almost forgot about that. Um, teaming with well, not teaming with UFC, but part of the parent company that owns UFC. And I think it's officially going to be the merger is officially going to be happening near the end of the year. I think second half this year. So that's
Yeah.
going to be pretty cool to see. Maybe we'll see some crossovers. I doubt it, but anything can happen.
Hey,
But what else?
that was the whole reason Vince came back though, right? Like he came back in January to sell the company, and then in
Yeah,
May he got it done. So and then
yeah.
he came back with the stash. He came back with the mustache.
Oh my God, Vince McMahon with the stash. That's what we need. That's what the people have been asking for. He should be coming out. Why does he have that? What made him think that was a good idea?
Yeah, I don't
Um,
know.
and then of course we had the World Heavyweight Championship tournament happening in May. We had some pretty killer triple threats. We had Finn Balor and Seth in the finals, which I think was a pretty decent match. Um, and a little bit of Finn v Seth teasing for a World Heavyweight Championship match here in the future, maybe at Money in the Bank this year. Um, and then you had AJ Styles v who was it? Bobby Lashley,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah,
AJ Styles versus Bobby Lashley.
at the finals of SmackDown side. But then AJ won that. Seth won the Raw side, and AJ v Seth for the World Heavyweight Championship at Saudi Arabia's Night of Champions, which I thought was a pretty good match. I feel like a lot of people were underwhelmed, but I really enjoyed the match, honestly. Wasn't like the greatest match ever, but it was still a fair, good match. It was fun.
Dude, I was
Um,
like, finally, I'm hyped for an AJ Styles match and I don't get let down. Let's go.
yeah, like again, it wasn't the best of AJ's career or Seth's career, but it was still better than whatever he had with Edge and Finn Balor. Um, but then you had, of course, the main event, which was probably my favorite match of the night, with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Bloodline, with the Bloodline having a little bit of a collapse, explosion, just like what Haadi demonstrated there. Yeah, that was insane. Jimmy Uso super kicking Roman Reigns in the face, with Jey Uso being like, "Hey, we can't do this, man. Come on, dog."
Jey Uso is the best actor ever. This man is going through it every time he's on the screen. He is like he is like in complete distress.
Why is Roman and Seth getting movie deals? You know, why is The Rock in movies? He can't act as good as Jey Uso. Jey Uso is genuinely a better actor than The Rock. The Rock just plays himself in like 13 different movies a year.
Well, I don't think people want to hear the word "oos" 42 times in every movie. So
I don't know, man. Replace Jey Uso for The Rock in like Central Intelligence or something, and I
Fast
guarantee
11.
you, Fast 11. Yep. But
I'm on
yeah,
your right, oos.
I mean it fits kind of, but
Everyone fits in Fast 11. That's the point. They bring in everyone.
it, it's like the Expendables. Remember that movie? That movie was
I don't want to.
just brought in every single person. But yeah, Night of Champions was really fun, and then you had Mustafa versus Gunther, which was shorter than I'd like, but you know, still pretty
Solid.
decent, I guess.
Wait, I want to talk about this thing Seth Rollins is doing right now. Ever since he won the World Heavyweight Championship, he has been defending it every single night other than that first Raw. Every house show, every live event, every Monday Night Raw. He's even going to NXT next week to defend against Braun Breaker. Holy moly. I don't think I've ever seen any champion do this before.
Seth
Um
is doing a great job, man. Already.
which kind of makes me hope that this won't be like a super super long title reign because I'm like every title reign we have right now is super super long. I would love to see some titles get passed around, you know. So
Yeah.
maybe SummerSlam take that title off Seth. Who
With
knows?
whom would be a good question. Maybe LA Knight
Otis.
can cash in. Otis. Um, Seth. Who would be a good contender to Seth? I'd really say Finn Balor, honestly. Even though like that could be his first feud coming up, but that would just be it would just make sense in my mind. Finn Balor is definitely on top now.
I would like
Um,
Drew McIntyre to do it.
Drew McIntyre is another stellar choice, but we're all just missing the point here because Omos is truly the one who should be winning and holding that title. I want to talk about one last PLE and or notable event that happened in May, and of course, I think it happened a few days ago. Double or nothing. What do you think about double or nothing that happened in AEW?
You know what? I was a little unexcited for the build, but then when I watched it, it made me happy. It was really good. And I was really surprised with the four pillars match, the MJF
Yes.
versus Darby Allin versus Jungle Boy versus Sammy Guevara. Man, I love Sammy Guevara.
Yeah,
Dude's
man.
dude's awesome. Yeah, that match was really good and I found out the whole storyline was produced by MJF, so good job on him for like pushing up the younger guys in the locker room. I'm interested to see how this MJF title run plays out. I wonder if we're gonna get the MJF CM Punk rematch.
I feel like we probably will, but I mean, really, I really want MJF to not lose it to CM Punk. I feel like MJF should lose it to someone, I guess more, I don't know, worthy, but at the same time, CM Punk is a big box office draw.
He's the
So
number one guy.
it would make sense business wise to put him on top. But I love MJF, man. Press conferences, it's great whenever you know he was asked like, how do you feel not main eventing this PLE? And he was like, or pay per view, and he was like, well, fine. Do you see John Moxley? I don't want to lay around his blood. He's kind of gross. And I'm like, oh, yeah, good point. But MJF definitely one of my favorites in the business right now. Um, and one of my favorite parts about this whole entire PLE pay per view is, of course, the Acclaimed, because everyone loves the Acclaimed, and the Acclaimed's awesome ass rap against the House of Black. Wow, that was probably one of the best raps they've done in such a long time. You know, calling out Buddy Murphy for getting cucked by Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah, everyone loves the Acclaim. Finally, Billy Gunn's in there, and now we're getting 6-man tags. But that main event, the Elite versus the Blackpool Combat Club
Yeah.
in the Anarchy Arena, I thought it was good. Don't get me wrong, but Meltzer gave it 5 stars. Serious? Like, it's clear that like if the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega are in a match, Dave Meltzer will drop to his knees. Like, it's very clear that that's what's going on. Um, like, dude, even the Young Bucks have the move of the Meltzer driver. Like, that's what CM Punk was claiming about in the media scrum. That like, why the Young Bucks keep leaking info to Meltzer, especially when it's not confirmed. It's just rumors. Like, it makes things worse. Which, don't get me wrong, I don't think Punk is a great guy, but I do think he had some valid points in that media scrum. Man, yeah, good pay per view, Double or Nothing.
And the last thing I want to talk about Double or Nothing is Jade Cargill losing the TBS championship, man,
Oh my
out
god,
of
finally!
nowhere
Oh
by
my god,
Chris
finally!
Statlander. The 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 alien, man. What's her nickname? I forgot. She's like
I think it was like something. I don't know,
the
something from
galaxy.
outer space.
The
Yeah,
galaxy. Yeah, I don't know. The
some
galactic
type of alien stuff.
alien stuff. I don't know. I like Chris Statlander though.
She's cool.
But yeah. So before we get into our quick top 10 lists, I do want to do a little, in your opinion, Hadi, your Mount Rushmore of professional wrestlers in 2023. It can include
Ooh,
tag teams too.
okay, okay. 2023 so far, so January to June, what we got. Um, okay. So I'm gonna start off with, man, this is very tough. You put me on the spot.
Yeah, man, I had to surprise you. We didn't talk about this before, but
Yeah, exactly.
because I just thought about this like 5 minutes ago while Hadi was
No,
talking.
nothing on this podcast is pretty much planned. That's what you guys love it. You're getting live,
Yeah,
raw
you better like it.
action, and subscribe. Yeah,
Yeah.
but for number one, I'm gonna give it to my guy. I'm gonna give it to Roman Reigns to start off because he is the
Mm.
face of wrestling, and I think everything he does makes everything around him better. We can already see that, like in the short moments he is like present in 2023. It's the biggest thing in wrestling. Even like him being on SmackDown, you saw the viewership jump almost by 2 million when Roman Reigns got on the screen, which is like massive. This man is the draw in wrestling. So I'm gonna give it to Roman Reigns on the Mount Rushmore. I feel like I have to. And number two is gonna be Cody Rhodes. Like,
Mm.
I don't know how you can, man. After Roman, he's climbing merch. He is the top baby face. So he's going right next to Roman. And number three, another WWE guy, is Dominic Mysterio.
Oh, Dominic on the Rushmore, man.
He's the greatest heel right now, right? Like, I can't
Yes.
argue with it. And I love the feud with Ray. I love the match at Mania. It was
And
one of my
honestly, dude,
favorite parts.
I don't
Yeah.
hate him on the mic. He plays the great, obnoxious, bad like kid, and he's does really good on the mic because of that. Um,
Yeah, I
so
love him.
yeah, who's your number four though?
Number four comes way out of not way out of left field, but it's gonna be Orange Cassidy. Just because
What?
yeah, Just because
Really?
of the stuff he's been doing with the international championship, it makes the title feel cool. It's literally every time I tune into AEW, it's pretty much on the line, and I really enjoy watching it. But like, this is really hard to make because there's so many guys I want to put on the list. I want to put Seth Rollins on this list. I want to put uh Wheeler Yuta on this list.
Man,
Yeah.
for I'll tell you what, for my Mount Rushmore, first person I'm gonna put up there, easy. I feel like they're a big top star, even if you're outside of the wrestling landscape, you know who this is now. Rhea Ripley would be on my first face on Mount Rushmore because I have a lot of people who don't watch wrestling and they somehow know Rhea Ripley and say they love mommy. And she's really reached, and again, she's great character work, amazing on the mic, she has a great future with this with her Raw SmackDown Women's Championship, whatever it is. But she's doing a great job in the Judgment Day. I could put the whole Judgment Day on there because the Judgment Day in general have been every single one of them amazing. But I'm gonna put Rhea on there. Two, I'll go with Cody too. Um, Cody definitely top face, someone who I feel like Cody in the future could definitely be like someone looked at like he is, I don't know, almost like
Cena.
Cena or Hogan, but Rhodes is actually really likable, and he's really good on the mic, really good in the ring. And I feel like in AEW for some reason he just wasn't likable. I don't know,
I
but
think it's because it was his company.
yeah, it's one of the big things. Um, Three, I'm gonna have to go with MJF. I feel like he's really. You don't think MJF?
Apart from everything before the Danielson match, like like I don't know what
He's
he's doing.
just
And even
he's.
right now, I don't think he's the top draw in AEW. Like I don't tune in
Mm,
AEW to watch MJF personally. Like that's
I
not
don't
the
know.
I like to watch him.
MJF is probably my favorite thing going on in AEW right now. Um, Probably one of the few reasons why I watch AEW because he, again, one of the best on the mic. He brings out the classic heel, like the '80s, '90s heel. One of You have people saying he's probably like the best heel in so long, probably like of all time already. And that you can debate about, but definitely in the future he can be up there. In 2023, I feel like great year for him. Again, this is so far, first 6 months. So maybe by August he's gonna suck. I don't know. But I'm still waiting for the bidding war of 2024. I wonder if I wonder how shoot slash how work that is.
I
Um,
can't wait him to sign with AAA.
so he's gonna sign for Impact. Um, but number four for me, um, I don't want to put Roman on there for some reason, but I'm gonna put I'm
I
not
didn't
gonna
want to
put
put him
Roman on
either.
there because I know he's a big draw and
The draw.
definitely the draw, and in general, he definitely is technically the best. Um, I guess like attraction that WWE has right now. But at the same time, it's hard to say put him in the Mount Rushmore for someone who doesn't wrestle as much, which is why I'm probably gonna go with number four, the Usos. Um, the Usos still, I count them as probably the best tag team, even if they lost to Owens and Zayn. I was gonna put Zayn on this list because again, he had that baby face rush, but now it feels like it's dying down. Ever since he won the championships, I still think that Owens and Zayn really, really like good tag team champions right now, just because of how funny Owens is. He's they're just their chemistry is just great. Or you could put Gunther on here too. That's another good one. He's personally like my favorite wrestler right now, probably. But at the same time, Gunther, I don't know. But anyways, yeah, that's my four: Rhea Ripley, MJF, Usos, and wait, who else did I say? Uh, 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 oh.
MJF,
MJF,
Ripley,
Rhea
Usos.
Ripley, Usos, and
Cody.
Cody. That's right, Cody. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, put there right there. Anyways, after that whole thing, we're gonna talk about our top 10 favorite matches from AEW, WWE, or wherever. It probably is most likely just gonna be from WWE and AEW. And yeah, we're gonna do a little speed round about this. You ready for this, Haadi? What's your number 10?
Let me pull up the list. Go first.
Oh, okay. My number 10 is the men's elimination match at Elimination Chamber 2023. I feel like that was one killer match.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
much star power. Hell yeah.
Definitely. My number 10 is Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio at WrestleMania 39. I love the story. I love this match. I love the entrances, everything about it, especially Auschwitz images. So great. Number 10.
Hell yeah. Snoop Dogg coming out with the lowrider. Hell yeah. Uh,
Love it.
Number 9, I had to go with Logan Paul versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 39, night 1. That was a way better than I thought it was going to be, even though I already know that Logan Paul is capable, but still, that was an amazing match. So funny to see KSI in a prime outfit.
Definitely. Number 9 for me is Wesley versus Dijak. This match definitely made the North American Championship the most important championship on NXT, in my opinion. And I think Wesley has been doing amazing things with it ever since.
Man, I'm gonna go with number 8, another Dijak match, Ilya Dragunov versus Dijak. I feel like this was fantastic. Dijak really, I mean, Ilya knows how to wrestle with anyone. Really, his matches with Gunther, aka Walter, like classics, and Dijak. Same thing here. I feel like this is gonna be an NXT classic, one of the, I guess, peaks of Dijak's career.
Very nice. My number 8 is the 2023 Men's Royal Rumble match. Really enjoyed it. Really loved it.
Yeah.
Start to finish, I was having a great time.
Number 7 has to be WrestleMania 39 night 1 again with Street Profits, Viking Raiders, Braun Strowman, and Ricochet versus Alpha Academy. I feel like this match is, I don't know, this was personally just my favorite match of the whole entire WrestleMania because of it's a spot fest, and I had a great time with my non-wrestling friends. They really enjoyed this.
Yeah. So I was reading down my list. I was like, man, my last 3 are gonna be like, dude, why'd you put them on there? But number 7 for me is Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair, WrestleMania 39, night 1. Awesome match. My favorite women's match of the year so far.
Yeah. Number 6, Roman Reigns versus Sami Zayn for the Undisputed Universal Championship at Elimination Chamber 2023. Crowd was going wild. Very emotional match. So many plot twists. Love it.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Number 6, Hangman Page versus John Moxley in Texas Death match. Hangman.
Number 5 for me is going to be AEW's MJF versus Guevara versus Jack Perry, Jungle Boy versus Darby Allin. 4 Pillars AEW match. I really enjoyed this match, actually.
It was very fun.
Yeah, definitely very fun. I loved MJF's commentary throughout the whole match.
Nice. My number 5 is Bryan Danielson versus Bandito on an episode of Dynamite.
Oh,
one of my favorites of the year.
Oh yeah, man. Number 4, you said this one, but I'll say it again. Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair. Again, my favorite women's match so far, and I guess this really did solidify Ripley's capability of being a star.
Definitely. Number 4 is MJF versus Takashita on Dynamite. What I noticed is Dynamite puts on a lot of better matches than the pay-per-views themselves.
Honestly,
yeah,
and also they
MJF
have less
Takashita was amazing.
pay-per-views. Yeah. Number 3 for me, main event of WrestleMania 39 night 1, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Usos. This was amazing match, amazing story, which kind of drove the match to be better than it actually was. But the in-ring action was also amazing as well.
Number 3 for me is MJF versus Bryan Danielson Iron Man match.
Yeah. Okay.
Like 3 AEWs in a row.
Number 2 from WrestleMania 39. There's a lot of WrestleMania 39 on here. But night 2, Gunther versus Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus. I really love the triple threat match. This was like way. This exceeded expectations. My expectations were already high for this match. What is your favorite match?
Well, I'm on number 2.
You're in your second. Oh yeah, I forgot. I went first.
My number 2 is Bianca Belair versus Io Sky Backlash. Really enjoyed it. Really loved it.
I mean, I'm not one.
This is a favorite match. It's not best matches.
I'm so sorry.
This is about what you felt during the matches.
You
okay.
Stupid little bitch. Anyways, number one, my favorite match. After all these WWE matches, I have to go over to AEW with the MJF Danielson match, the Iron Man match for the AEW World Championship. My favorite part was when MJF threw like some alcohol at a kid. Sure, apparently it wasn't water; it was like vodka or something. I don't know. That was great. Amazing match.
My favorite match of this year came on an episode of Monday Night Raw. It
Oh,
was Seth Rollins versus The Miz, April 17th, I think, somewhere in April. Yeah, really great match. Favorite match of my year. I rewatch it all the time.
so what's your number
I told you
one?
that's the number one. I
Is
told
it
you to catch you by
actually?
surprise. Yeah.
Why?
No, I'm
Well,
just kidding.
okay,
It's
okay.
Omos versus Brock Lesnar. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's Miz versus Seth Rollins.
I don't know what's going on, man. Is it
Go
actually
back and
Miz?
watch it. Yeah, go back and watch it. It's amazing.
Are you joking? Okay, you heard it here first, folks. Miz versus Seth Rollins is Haadi's favorite, versus mine, which is MJF versus Danielson. So you pick your.
I know. It's like favorite, right? So it's like, what's a match I want to go back and watch? I don't want to go back and watch a 60. Like, it's on my list. I'm not gonna go back and watch a 60-minute Iron Man match, like at least every week, right? But like, it's a fantastic match. It's one of my favorites, but I don't want to watch it again.
What
MJF.
prompted
I
you
mean,
to watch Miz and Rollins so many times?
dude. Well, I watch Raw on a weekly basis, and when I saw that match, I was like, holy crap! I feel like the Miz is really trying to go off right now. And I was like, Seth Rollins should be world champion, and this was in April. And I was like, every time I watch it, I was like, man, I'm becoming a bigger Seth Rollins fan. And yeah, it's a great match.
I'm not one to judge.
Have
Well,
you seen it?
I'm pretty
I'm
sure I
gonna send it to
have.
you.
I'm pretty sure I have seen it because I do see
No,
the YouTube clips a lot. But
because it's not
I,
on your list. You haven't
yeah,
watched it.
it probably wasn't that impressive to me because it probably just felt like an average match from Monday Night Raw. But you know what? Whatever. Thank you for joining us at this episode. Probably our longest episode yet, actually. I think.
One of the yeah,
I want to.
it's up
Yeah.
there, top
Look at
three.
us on our 20th episode.
Wait, we'll make a thumbnail right now.
Oh. No, God. Okay.
All right. Well, as always, guys, make sure to subscribe, make sure to like, make sure to comment, make sure if you're on Spotify, give us 5 stars and share with your friends, your wrestling friends. And as always, stay restless.
Stay restless.
Mm.